Good evening. The terrorist who built the explosive used in the deadly Bali bombings could soon walk free. His sentence slashed yet again. Fitzpatrick had served just half of a 20-year jail term over the blast which killed 202 people. That includes 88 Australians. Well, survivors are shocked and angry at that decision. But in an exclusive interview, Fitzpatrick claims he's a reformed man.
The Bali bomber, known as the Demolition Man, celebrates the possibility of something his victims will never again feel: freedom.
Praise to Allah, thanks to the Indonesian government for giving me remission.
And Mark Riley joins us now. Mark, how likely is it that Fitzpatrick will be released?
Daniel, Australian officials believe it's very likely. The Indonesian government says terrorists don't normally get parole, but Fitzpatrick has been a model prisoner, they say, who now wants to counsel young Indonesians against getting involved in extremist groups. His release would have to be approved first by the relevant Indonesian minister, and Australia is lodging its diplomatic objections. But our foreign affairs officials still expect the Bali bomb maker will be out on the streets, possibly within days. Daniel.
Mark Riley, thank you. A 55-year-old man has been extradited to Sydney and charged with murder over the death of a 13-year-old boy in a house fire. It happened 24 years ago, but police never gave up and now allege the man threw a petrol bomb into the home in a neighbourhood dispute.
A hooded Gregory Walker, cuffed and surrounded by officers, led into a police van and taken to a cell.
His plea in due course.
Tom Saker, 7 News.
An Australian race car driver is lucky to be alive after crashing his McLaren into a light pole on the Gold Coast. He lost control at a roundabout, the expensive supercar going up in flames.
The fiery end for a car worth more than $300,000. In security video, the McLaren seen moments earlier.
Police are investigating after a man was found with serious burns following a car fire in Sydney in the early hours of this morning. Firefighters managed to extinguish the flames when called to the scene at around 3 o'clock, but that car was destroyed. A 26-year-old man was found several hundred metres away with burns to his face and hands. And police aren't sure if the man was involved in setting the fire or trying to put it out. A 20-year-old man has been arrested over a violent brawl outside Leichhardt Oval last month. Flares were let off and rocks thrown onto the pitch from outside as Sydney FC and the Mariners faced off. Police detained the man at his home yesterday morning. He's been granted bail and will return to court next month. Well, Liberal MP Gareth Ward has been committed to stand trial on sex offences. Let's go to Tom Saker for more. Tom, has he entered a plea?
That's right, Daniel. The Kiama MP appeared at Nowra Court today via a video link. The hearing over within minutes. Mr Ward has been accused of indecently assaulting a 17-year-old in 2013 and sexually abusing a 27-year-old man 2 years later. The 41-year-old was elected as a Liberal but is currently suspended from state parliament until this case is dealt with. The court continued his bail and he will next appear in Sydney for a mention on September 14.
Now, Tom, there's also been a major resignation, though, from the opposition.
Yeah, that's right, Daniel. Walter Secord quit the front bench the other day over a bullying scandal. Today he's announced he's leaving Parliament altogether. The upper house member has been accused by MPs and staffers over what he calls being blunt and direct. He's essentially the first scalp of the Broderick report, which found state parliament has a shocking problem with bullies and sexual assault. It's also saved a headache for leader Chris Minns, who was under pressure to sack Secord. Daniel?
Good on you, Tom. Thanks again for the update. Well, Apple users are being urged to update their device immediately after the tech giant uncovered a major issue in its security. The software flaw could allow hackers to gain access to people's devices as if they were the owner.
They hold so much of our personal information, but it could all be seen by hackers, thanks to a new flaw discovered in the Apple operating system.
Still to come, the new life-saving tool being installed in ambulances right across the state. Drivers forced to camp out overnight after a crash closes a major motorway. And why an episode of an animated Aussie favourite has been banned in the US. Thousands of people have been forced to sleep in their cars on a major Brisbane motorway after a fatal crash meant all lanes were closed for more than 7 hours. Drivers were stuck in freezing temperatures with no food or water or toilet facilities. Authorities have been criticised for not providing enough information, leaving stranded drivers in the dark. Now, the motorway finally reopened early this morning. Ambulances across the state will soon be fitted with CPR machines as part of a multi-million-dollar investment into cardiac care. The tool's designed to resuscitate patients, a crucial but physically demanding task.
When a heart stops beating, it's a race to beat the clock.
A violent thunderstorm on the French Mediterranean island of Corsica has killed at least 6 people. Hail, heavy rain and winds over 200 kilometres an hour have battered the small island off the coast of Italy. A 13-year-old girl was killed when she fell from a tree, and a 72-year-old woman died when winds ripped the roof off a beach hut and hit her car. Hundreds of families have been forced to evacuate their homes as torrential rain lashes parts of New Zealand. The Montage River in Nelson burst its banks, streets destroyed by water and landslips coming down around homes. Both the North and South Islands have copped a drenching, with more rain expected in the coming days. Next in sport, the Panthers leave it to the last minute to seal another minor premiership, and a local surfing veteran becomes a giant killer on the World Tour. Jackson Polo is considering filing a police complaint after he was targeted with death threats following last night's loss to the Panthers. Penrith claimed, though, the minor premiership for the second time in 3 years, thanks to an unlikely hero.
Minor premiers via a minor miracle.
In the AFL, a big win this Sunday should be enough for the Swans to lock in second place and another home final as they face off against St Kilda in the last game of the regular season. But depending on results, they could actually finish fourth.
We've got our destiny in our own hands in a sense, so we can control what we do, and the other results will take care of themselves.
Meanwhile, after months of speculation, 4-time premiership coach Alastair Clarkson has signed with North Melbourne. Sunny and mild in the north, some showers in the south. Kirstie has the details right after this. Good on you, Bernadette. Thanks for your photo. Photos at 7.com.au for yours. Time for a look at your national weather details across your weekend with Kirstie, and a series of cold fronts. They just don't let up.
No, they're not. We're already feeling the cool temperatures as well, Dan. Good evening, everyone. A cold front has already moved over parts of New South Wales and Victoria with those cooler temperatures and showers into the morning. The wet weather will linger, though, particularly for central and southern parts of the state. Clearer skies are expected as we track through to Sunday, but then for Monday, we'll see the return of this unsettled weather. This trough moving from south to north, while onshore winds are likely to trigger some showers along the coast. To our rain map, anywhere between about 10 and 30 millimetres is likely throughout the southwest into central New South Wales, and that as well for southern parts of the coast. We're not expecting most of those showers until Tuesday onwards next week, although there is the chance of some wet weather around tomorrow morning. Let's take a look at the state picture now, and in the north, clear skies. Tenterfield, a sunny day with 17 degrees, a chilly start though. Cooler in Armidale, just 13, once again under sunny skies, but lovely conditions along the coast. Sunny and in the low 20s if you're travelling for the weekend. Further south, some early showers around in Wagga, a top of 13 with around 5 millimetres. To the national picture, a beautiful start to the weekend for Queensland. Brisbane, sunny and 23 degrees. Some showers in Adelaide for the morning, reaching the high teens. Canberra and Melbourne both cool with tops of 13 degrees and overcast with 20 on the way for Perth, Dan.
I think I'll jump in the car and drive back to Darwin.
Yeah,
30 tonight. So good on you. Have a nice weekend. That is your news for this evening, the 19th of August. Thanks so much again for your company. I'm Daniel Gibson. Till I see you again, have a great weekend. Bye for now.